All right, we are live now. Suhana, please take over.
Yes, so as we begin with the finals for the Lions for the September round of Behes Online, there are two teams to the finals, L005 and L002. And subsequently, we'll be starting with a coin toss. Uh,
We'd like to
I'll
tails.
share, yes.
Can we choose what side we take?
Wait a second, let me just share my screen and after that. Yes, now the teams L005, you choose.
Tails.
Got it. L002 wins the toss. Which side are you all on?
We'll go for op.
Opposition, and L005 is proposition. Right. Uh, I'll just ask Vaishnavi for the motion real quick.
Send the motion on your personal chat.
Okay. Uh, I'm just pasting the motion in the chat. While the motion is that this house believes that fashion trends prove society will always chase what we can never keep. Pasting the motion in the meanwhile, I request both the teams to please jot down their speaking order so it's easier for the adjudicators, right? And with that, the 15 minutes of prep time begins. The last 25 or so seconds of it that time. I request the first speaker of side proposition to be ready. The first speaker of side proposition, L005,
Yes.
the first speaker.
So are we starting with a self countdown?
Whenever you're ready.
Three, two, one. Greetings to my charming adjudicator and my worthy opponents. Today I, the speaker one of the proposition, will make you believe in our stance that fashion trends exemplify society's relentless pursuit of what we can never truly keep. With my following 4 points. Fashion at its core is a fascinating mirror reflecting our deepest desires and insecurities. With each new season, we witness a whirlwind of trends that come and go, leaving behind whispers of what was once deemed in. The transient nature of these trends reveals a vital aspect of human behavior, the tendency to chase after fleeting ideals. Fashion trends are popular styles in clothing, accessories, and overall aesthetics that emerge within a specific period. They are influenced by cultural shift, society's attitudes, and the creativity of designers and influencers. Typically, short lived trends reflect current consumers' preferences and can change seasonally, highlighting the dynamic nature of fashion. Firstly, let us consider the impermanence of fashion itself. Each season, designers unveil collections that captivate our attention, igniting a frenzy of desire for latest styles. Yet we all know that what is trendy today may seem outdated tomorrow. This cycle of constant renewal serves as a powerful reminder that satisfaction in fashion is momentary, and we clamor for the latest looks, believing that they will elevate our status or enhance our identity, only to find ourselves seeking the next big thing just as quickly. Moreover, fashion is deeply intertwined with cultural pressures and societal expectations. We live in a world where our appearance often dictates how we are perceived. The desire to fit in or stand out drives many to chase after the latest trends. Yet this pursuit can become a double-edged sword. As we strive to embody what is deemed fashionable, we often lose sight of our authentic selves, becoming ensnared in a cycle of external validation. The question remains, how can we truly find fulfillment when our sense of self is dictated by the ever changing tides of fashion? Additionally, let us not overlook the illusion of attainability created by the fashion industry. We are bombarded with messages that suggest happiness, status, and identity that can be achieved through the right clothing or accessory. However, this illusion is precisely what keeps us in a constant state of longing. No matter how many outfits we acquire or how trendy our wardrobe becomes, the moment we attain what we believe will bring us fulfillment, we are met with the reality that it's only temporary. Finally, we must acknowledge the role of consumerism in this never ending chase. The fashion industry thrives in our desires, encouraging us to believe that the latest trend will bring us satisfaction. Yet, as soon as we embrace this trend, this cycle of consumption leaves us perpetually wanting reinforcing the idea that what we seek can never be truly kept. In conclusion, fashion trends are more than just fleeting styles. They symbolize a broader human condition in the perpetual chase for what we cannot hold on to, whether it is beauty, youth, or social standing. We find ourselves ensnared in a pursuit that ultimately leaves us feeling empty as we navigate the world of fashion. Let us remember that true fulfillment lies not in transient but in embracing our authentic self and finding value beyond the latest trends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that fine speech. With that, the first speaker aside opposition. The first speaker aside opposition. L002.
Now I've got a minute, right?
Yes. Yes, your minute is up. First speaker aside opposition.
Yes, ma'am, I'll give you a countdown. All right. I'll start in three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and honorable opponents, today I stand before you to argue against the motion that fashion trends prove society will always chase what we can never keep. While the proposition presents some points, it fundamentally overlooks the complexity of fashion and its profound societal implications. I will define the key terms, provide data and pointers, and emphasize the social and historical aspects of fashion, as well as the consequences of adopting this motion. Before we delve into arguments, here let me clarify the key terms. Fashion trends. These are popular styles and practices in clothing, accessories, and aesthetics that reflect cultural movements and societal changes. What is society? This refers to a structured community of individuals who share common values, norms, and behaviors. Understanding these terms is crucial as they highlight that fashion is not merely a superficial pursuit, but a reflection of our social identity and values. I would like to start off with the rebuttals. As the first speaker side proposition states that there are cultural pressures and societal expectations. Well, these pressures and expectations do not undermine the opposition's argument. Instead, they highlight the complexities of fashion as a tool for identity, empowerment, and social change. And upon further inspection, your whole position just falls apart. On to my arguments. Social and historical aspects. Fashion has always been a mirror of society. Historically, trends have emerged from significant cultural movements, showcasing our evolving identities. For example, the suffragette movement of the early 20th century. Fashion of the time included adoption of more practical clothing. It symbolized women's liberation and the fight for equal rights. Women began wearing shorter skirts and more comfortable garments, signaling a departure from restrictive clothing that represented their societal roles. And this wasn't just about chasing a trend, it was a powerful statement about change and empowerment. By reducing fashion to a mere chase, we risk undermining its role in advocating for social progress. My second principal argument. Let's consider some data to illustrate our points. According to a 2021 McKinsey report, 66% of consumers believe that fashion is an important means of self expression. This suggests that fashion trends facilitate personal identity rather than simply a pursuit of the unattainable. Moreover, the global fashion industry was valued at $1.5 trillion in 2020 and is expected to reach highs of 2.25 trillion by 2025. This economic significance underscores that fashion trends contribute to livelihoods, creativity, and cultural exchange, showing that this motion overlooks the broader implications of fashion beyond superficial pursuits. To further illustrate our arguments, let's draw parallel to other fields. The technology sector. Consider the technology sector where new gadgets and softwares continually emerge. Just as customers chase the latest smartphone, this pursuit fosters innovation and progress. The tech industry's evolution demonstrates that chasing trends can lead to beneficial advancements rather than mere dissatisfaction. The culinary arts. In the culinary world, trends like farm to table, dining, and plant based diets have not only transformed our eating habits, but have also spurred discussions about sustainability and health. Now, what are the consequences of this particular emotion? If we accept the proposition that fashion trends are merely a chase for the unattainable, we risk several negative consequences. Firstly, diminishing creativity. This view may stifle the creativity and innovation that fashion brings. Trends often lead to new styles, materials, and designs that influence not only fashion but also art and culture. Secondly, undermining social movements. By reducing fashion to mere trends, we undermine its potential as a platform for social change. Fashion can be a catalyst for discussions around gender, race, and identity. And not
Please
to forget,
conclude your speech.
um, in conclusion, the opposition firmly believes the opposition firmly believes that fashion trends are more than just a futile change. Let us celebrate the complexities of fashion and recognize its role as a force for creativity. Thank you.
I request all the speakers to please keep in mind the 4-minute mark. The timer is being screenshot to you all. Now, could we have the second speaker of the side proposition?
Yes, I'm ready. Uh, should I give the reverse countdown?
Yes, please.
All right. Three, two, one. My dear adjudicator and my long-winded opponents, today, in three simple and succinct points, I will show you logically that fashion trends prove society will always chase what it cannot keep. First of all, what is the point of fashion itself? How does it function as an industry? It's very simple. It is decided by what society wants. What society decides is in demand. Corporations hold some sway, we can't pretend they don't. But at the end of the day, it's the people themselves who decide what is fashionable and what is in style, and it is popular demand. That is the crux of our argument here. The people decide what's in style. Fashion as an industry is driven by popular demand. Now, let's talk about an inherent aspect of fashion that cannot be denied: transience, impermanence. Corsets were all the rage of the 19th century. They came back recently, but they've been forgotten for almost all of history after that. They caused health hazards like rib displacement, breathing issues, and digestive problems. Then, after that, in the 1920s, the flapper look was all the rage with boyish faces and extremely slim body figures. But that's gone out of style as well. Today, it's the hourglass figure. Tomorrow, it's going to be something else. A new line is released by Zara every 2 weeks. It's reached its peak in today's age. Impermanence is inherent to fashion. And lastly, let's get to the core of human nature and how it's exemplified by fashion. The fashion icons we all look up to always chase the high of being different than everyone else. That's what style is all about. For the richest and most attention hungry, nothing is a better badge of honor than setting a new trend. Being a trendsetter is what everyone seeks. So it's obvious that once the people themselves adopt the trend and it's popularized, the most important people, the highest echelon of fashion, will decide that it's no longer in style and pick something else and try to set a new trend. This is human nature at its most core. When something becomes popular, the people do everything in their power to be unique and different and to set the next trend to move on. So, if people decide what's in style, if impermanence is inherent to fashion, and this is all human nature, then it's clear that society chases over and over what it cannot keep, and fashion trends are the perfect example of this. Historically, we have seen the same pattern on repeat, from corsets to hourglass figures to de-aging. That's right, de-aging trends. Skincare routines and products focus on keeping youth intact at much cost. Art is not proof. Concept of keeping youth intact, of stopping the passage of time, is so outlandish. It's something that can never be preserved. And it's pure proof that this is what fashion is all about. In conclusion, we have seen that the societal place fashion has is all about consumerism and their preferences. We know what preferences the consumers have. It's to keep what most people want and then move on to try to be unique. The opposition is set on glorifying and praising fashion and demonizing us without looking at it from a more objective point of view. Do not misunderstand us. We have no disrespect to fashion. Don't misunderstand that our stance is not to say that fashion is all bad. We are looking at it from an objective point of view. You can't pretend that fashion itself does not prove a very key facet of human nature itself. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for that fine speech. With that, second speaker of side opposition.
I have a minute, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Thank you. I'm ready to begin.
Yes, you can give a self count and I can start the timer.
3, 2, 1. Imagine a world where clothes aren't just garments, but symbols of identity, catalysts for change, and vehicles for self expression. That is what we advocate for today. A world where fashion trends aren't just fleeting fads and but powerful tools for empowerment and social progress. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and honored opponents, I stand before you today to challenge the notion that fashion trends are merely a chase after the unattainable, which is why I would like to begin with my rebuttals. First speaker of side proposition stated that we lose sight of our authentic selves merely chasing the unattainable. However, I would like to remind the proposition what the actual meaning of fashion is. Fashion is a tool for self-expression, which allows individuals to explore different aspects of their own identity and discover what resonates with them. By experimenting with different styles and trends, which we agree do change over the course of time, people can gain a deeper understanding of themselves and their values. Therefore, they actually gain sight of their authentic selves. Moving on to my second rebuttal, the second speaker of side proposition highlighted impermanence in fashion trends, impermanence such as cord sets. However, the proposition hasn't addressed the ones that do actually stay permanent. While fashion trends are short lived, some styles and elements endure over time. For example, classic pieces like the little black dress or the white button down shirt have remained relevant for decades. Moving on to my first principle argument, empowerment through expression. The proposition paints a picture of a society constantly chasing the next big thing, forever doomed to be unsatisfied. However, this view fails to recognize the profound impact fashion trends can have on our lives. Fashion is not just about appearances, it's a form of self expression that allows us to communicate who we are to the world. Consider the rise of unisex fashion. This trend isn't just about aesthetics, it's a reflection of a growing acceptance of gender fluidity. By challenging gender norms through their clothing choices, individuals are expressing their identities authentically and empowering themselves. Moving on to cultural reflection. These trends often serve as a mirror to society, reflecting our values, beliefs, and aspirations in our cultures. They are catalysts for social change, inspiring us to question the status quo and strive for a better future. Consider the denim jacket. It has been a staple in wardrobes for decades, but it also served as a powerful symbol of protest and rebellion. From the peace signs of 1960s to the Black Lives Matter movement, the denim jacket has been adorned with messages of social change. These trends are not just about clothing, they are about collective action and a desire for more just and equitable world. Moving on to sustainability, the proposition may also argue that fashion trends are inherently harmful to the environment. However, this is a misconception. The fashion industry is increasingly embracing sustainable practices, demonstrating that trends can be a force for good. Vegan leather and recycled materials are the latest trend in fashion, one that is not unattainable, one that is being attained right now and shall save the lives of future generations for years to come. These trends not only reduce environmental impact but also demonstrate that it's possible to be fashionable without sacrificing sustainability. This shows that fashion can be a driving force for positive change, not just a superficial pursuit. In conclusion, fashion trends are not a futile pursuit, but a powerful force for good. They empower individuals, reflect cultural shifts, promote sustainability, and foster global connections. By embracing the complexities of fashion, as stated by my first speaker, we can affirm our identities, advocate for meaningful change, and create a more vibrant and inclusive world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that fine speech. Now the third speaker aside proposition.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like the 1 minute time.
Yes. Yes, your 1 minute is up.
Yes, ma'am. Just want to make sure that I'm properly audible from here.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Can I get a countdown, please?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Greetings to our beautiful adjudicator and my mistaken opponents. Today, I, the third speaker of the proposition, will be speaking strongly for the motion. This House believes that fashion trends prove society will always chase what we can never have. And I will be doing so by proving to you the flaws and inconsistencies in my opponent's speeches. Coming to Speaker 1, you mentioned the words identity and empowerment. Fashion is a positive thing for sure, but fashion trends can cause insecurity and have been causing insecurity and dysmorphia, especially in teenagers. Especially trends like the hourglass body figure, the low waist jeans, which demanded a flat stomach, bullying, cyberbullying, and other such trends on the internet. Then you told us how fashion is the mirror of the society. Exactly what we mean. Fashion is the mirror of the society, ever changing and dynamic. Fashion changes as society changes, which causes the society to never be able to keep one fashion trend going for long enough, causing a need for novelty and a chase for fashion trends, and also a lot and lot of waste. Then you also kept mentioning that fashion is an important means of self-expression, and we totally agree. But fashion can also cause human psychology chases novelty. Fashion, to satisfy that human need for novelty, will also be ever changing. This creates a further chase and need to be to follow fashion trends. You also mentioned how chasing fashion, changing trends leads to fosters innovations and advancements. Sir, why would innovation and advancements matter when the environment is dying due to the waste, pollution, and moreover, the short-term innovation with a basic time span of a few months really won't matter in the long run. Coming to the second speaker, again you mentioned that fashion is a form of self-expression. But when you open sites like Instagram, where people post pictures of them, you notice a trend. You notice that people are wearing similar types of clothing. There is a trend that people are going on choosing different types of filters, the similar types of makeup, similar types of clothing, similar types of shoes, accessories, jewelry. This is a trend. This shows that every single person is chasing the same thing, which is extremely dynamic and will change in just a few weeks to a few months. There was the example of a white button up given, but is a white button up being chased? White button up is a basic, but the way of styling and the way it's expressed is always changing. You also mentioned vegan leather and faux fur. These and how fashion trends are eco-friendly. So, vegan leather is one of the leading causes of emissions in the fashion industry and is non-biodegradable. Moreover, dyed out fashion pieces will always lead to more and more waste. Hence, to conclude, I would like to say that this house believes that fashion trends prove that the society will always chase the unattainable and something that we can never keep, and which will cause environmental, social, and personal problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that fine speech. Third speaker of side, the third speaker of, I'm sorry, the second speaker.
Third
Right,
speaker of
right, right. Now, could we have the third speaker of side opposition?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready to start.
Yes, I'll just set the timer.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Start. Ma'am,
one.
just give a self. Ma'am, I'll
Okay.
start in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a world where we never innovate, never reinvent, never express who we are, though the clothes we wear. Now imagine the opposite, a world where fashion allows us to constantly evolve, not because we're chasing something exclusive, but because we are exploring new facets of who we are. Today, we are here to challenge the idea that fashion trends are a fertile chase for something we can never keep. Fashion is not a reflection of societal failure, but it's the victory. It's the victory of self-expression, creativity, and cultural identity. We don't chase what we can't keep. We evolve through what we create. The proposition has argued that fashion trends are fleeting and temporary, suggesting that society is stuck in a never-ending pursuit of unattainable. But this perspective overlooks the deeper function of fashion in our lives. Fashion trends are not about chasing something that slips through our fingers. Rather, they are about adaptation, invention, and creative expression. Let's break down why the proposition's arguments are flawed. The first speaker of side proposition claims that because fashion trends change, we are doomed to perpetually change what we hold on to. However, fashion, like art,
evolved over time to reflect new values, technologies, and societal shifts. Just as art movements from imperialism to modernization transformed and redefined what art could be, fashion trends shift to reflect new forms of beauty and innovation. Let's take the example of hot culture timeless influence. While fashion trends may seem fleeting, but haute couture demonstrates the lasting impact of luxury fashion houses like Chanel, Dior, Balenciaga. The timeless appeal of these brands show that even half fashion evolves rather than being discarded. For instance, Coco Chanel, Little Bright Dresses (LBD), first designed in the 1920s, has been staple to in women's fashion for nearly a century. The LBD has been continuously reinvented and remains a classic example of how fashion trends endure and adapt. Fast fashion influence and its reversal is also another example because fast fashion brands like Zara, H&M, and Forever 21 rose to prominence by creating quick and disposable clothing. However, the consumers became more aware of the environmental and ethical implications, due to which the shift towards from the fast fashion went to a slow fashion. This shows that even when a trend dominates, a fast fashion trend, society can course correct, proving that fast fashion trends don't simply just disappear. They transform in response to deeper societal concerns. The proposition also argue that people feel pressured to chase these trends. But let me just tell you an example that in the 1980s, the rise of power suits for women in the workplace symbolized a growing presence of women in professional settings. This wasn't about chasing something temporary, but about redefining a societal norms. The third speaker of side proposition stated that due to the low waist jeans and the bodycon dresses, if I'm not mistaken, people are bullied. But the root cause of bullying is not the clothes that people wear, but rather the attitudes and behaviors of those who bully. Fashion does not cause bullying. Toxic societal norms and lack of acceptance do. People of all the body types should have the freedom to wear whatever makes them confident, and the solution to this is address the body shaming culture and promote inclusivity. In conclusion, fashion is not a mirage that vanishes as you approach it. Rather, it's the journey, one where we discover old ideas, reimagine new possibilities. So let's not look as fashion as a change for something we're not as something which we're not able to keep up with, but as a canvas where we keep painting layer upon layer who we are and who we inspire. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that fine speech. With that, we reach the end of the finals for Lions. Uh, Thank you so much for your active participation. I hope the deserving one wins this regional round.
Thank you.